Hey, what's going on everyone? This is Mike Kollin at MikeKollin.com. I can kill and I can feed. What am I? I am a knife. Isaiah 45 verse 7. I form the light and I create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all things. It's all energy. Even the sun, it's pure atomic energy. Does the sun have atomic energy? Google. The sun is like a big nuclear submarine in the sky. That's right, it's fueled by nuclear reactions that fuse hydrogen atoms together into helium and other heavy elements, releasing huge amounts of energy in the process. I am light, I am darkness. Who am I? I am God. So atomic energy lights up the sky. God created atoms. God created everything. So atomic centers or nuclear facilities, they create energy that can light up 1 million homes, that can light up 100,000 homes, that can light up big cities. Unfortunately, atomic energy can also be used to build bombs. The one thing you have to remember is man did that. See, a lot of people want to blame God for what man did. God didn't do that. You did. God just gave you the resources to do with it what you want. My last presentation at the church, I stood up and I brought some money up there with me. And I obviously did the, money's the root of all evil BS. And I said, it doesn't say that. It says the love of money. Have any of you noticed that? And so then I put up some money right up on the pulpit. And I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at the crowd, and I'm looking at it, and I'm looking at the crowd, and I'm looking at it, and looking at the crowd, and I kind of got this astonished look on my face, and like, I wonder what it's going to do. And I said, look, money literally can't do anything. It's just money. It can't get up and walk away. It can't buy a gun. It can't buy food. It can't do nothing. It can't even move. It all comes down to your intention. Whose intention? Your intention. A knife can make a sandwich and feed your children, your family, or a knife can be used to harm someone. It's up to the hand bearer, the person who is bearing the knife in their hand. What is their intention? Period. So you get these yahoos that will read that and be like, oh, well, God says right here. Here, let me pull up again. Isaiah 45 verse 7. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. Oh, God creates evil? No, he's saying he creates the energy which can create evil or it can create good. So the whole purpose of that verse is, it's up to you. It's your intention. One word, intention. So, it's funny how this channel really turned into kind of a biblical, channel, where that's not where it started. Even when we started the narcissist abuse videos, it really wasn't biblical, except it is biblical. All this narcissist abuse it's all over the Bible. It's saying, hey, watch out for this, watch out for that. The Bible's trying to protect you. It's not trying... See, okay. I hope you guys realize, I am not reading the Bible in this sense of, how do we say this? Church, hey, you got to fit in, you got to conform, you got to fit in the box, you got to do as you're told, you got to be pious, you got to be, I don't know, just, all that stuff, guilty and shameful. If you think that's what I'm doing, you're missing it. My intention, I just want you to realize that God loves you, number one. I mean, God loves you, period. Period, right now. God loves you. That's it. You don't have to feel guilty to earn it. You don't got to feel shameful to earn it. You don't got to walk around telling people you're nothing but a dirty rag. You don't have to play any of these games. And guess what? God doesn't like games. And why some people think they got to pay God or earn God's love is, I know what it is. It's a narcissistic trick that was brainwashed or conditioned into you. It's just not true. God loves you. You're his child. I mean, think about it. When your baby was 6 months old, how much was it paying for you to take care of it? When it was 1 year old, 2 years old, 3 years old, it didn't ever, even after it moved out of the house, like how much does it have to pay to get love from you? Nothing, because you love it because it's your child, period. So someone on my channel, had said, you know, you sound like this one guy. Have you ever seen this guy? And so I did, but didn't. I never watched his videos. I just kind of took a quick look like, I'm not interested. So let's see. Let me pull him up right now. So his name is William Donahue. These videos are about 11, 12, 14 years old. And I'm not really sure if he's a pastor or what, but he kind of mixes being a pastor or the Bible with psychology, very much like I do, by the way. And the video I'm watching is 119B, Your Success Door is Locked. So he talks about this opening and how you're blocked off and how the reason why you're not successful, etc., is because this doorway to your unconscious mind is closed. And this is what narcissists have been doing to society for literally thousands of years. So you have to remember, the book of Genesis was talking about narcissists. They just used a different term. It's called the serpent. That's like saying Ola means hello. It's the same thing. It's literally the exact same entity, the exact same being. This is a narcissist that came in the garden like a snake, being slippery and sneaky, and manipulated and lied and convinced Adam and Eve and us, mankind, to go into our left brain. Now, a lot of you will look at that like, oh, well, because that happened back then. No, it happened in your lifetime too. It happened in my lifetime. It happened in your parents' lifetime, your grandparents, and so on and so on. You were born very open. And somewhere along the line, people started lying to you. And they started saying this and that. And they said, hey, do math, do business, do science, do all this left brain, left brain, left brain. And now you're stuck there and you think that that's reality. It's worse. You think that that's thinking. The left brain can't think. That is an impossibility. The left brain is a memory program. That's it. It's really good at memorizing, structuring, and organizing information. That's what the left brain does. So when you go in there to your left brain, you're just repeating something that you heard from someone else. It's just something you memorized. It's not real. It's not your original thought. And this is why it's called the original sin, is because you're blocked out of and locked out of your right brain, which is who you really are. It's your own original thoughts and expression. And the right brain thinks for itself. It's the internal brain. It's like, let me think about it. This is my thought. See, the reason why they control the planet is because they convinced people to go in the left brain, which is the external brain, which means, tell me what to believe, tell me what to think, what do we believe as a group, as a people, as a nation, as a whatever. They just tell you what to believe. You're like, oh, is that what we believe? Everyone? Nod, nod, nod. Okay, group think, I'm in. So remember, the left brain is really good at rules, structure, and organization. So number one, it's an external brain. It goes outside of itself to gather information. Number two, it follows rules really well. So it's always looking externally for what are the rules. It's looking for someone else to tell them what to do, what to think, and what the rules are. And this is how they control society. They don't like people who think for themselves. They don't like people who have original ideas. The right brain literally is when you take your awareness and you go inside, you drop down inside, go, what do I feel about this? What do I think about this? What are my ideas? What are my ideas on this subject, etc., etc. So that makes you a self-thinker when you, cut off. So a self-thinker when you do that. So I know why this person recommended and said, hey, have you watched this guy? So here's a verse he talks about. Luke 11:52 says, woe to you experts in the law, because you have taken away the key to knowledge. You yourselves have not entered, and you have hindered those who are entering. So a long time ago, I think this was actually in college, I learned this thing called amalgamation. Now, I just used to think that was a big word, like whatever. And it is a big word. But you know what it means? It means right brain thinking. This is actual thinking now. Hold on, let me explain. So briefly, amalgamation is when you study something over here to the right, you read this book and you study this author's work, and then you go over here and study something totally separate, different author, and then maybe you go out into Mother Nature and you get stung by a bee, and because of that you learned about bee stings and you learned about toxins and whatever. And you go to the doctor and he might say, oh, well, here's what's happening. Your body's reacting with the histamines or, whatever, and that's causing it to burn and swell up, etc., because it's trying to protect you, etc., etc. And then you go to another fourth information that has nothing to do with bee stings or nothing to do with the first thing you studied, and you learn about this. So say, like, take guitar lessons. So I studied guitar for about 7 years, and I also was in choir for 13 years, and I studied music theory 1, music theory 2 in college, and just all kinds of stuff. And then I did artwork, and I got really deep into psychology in my 20s, 19 and up, till today. Like, I really studied my ass off, and then I studied hypnosis and NLP. And the funny thing is, these are all radically different professions and different arts, if you will. And yet, they all coincide in a lot of ways. Did you guys hear about that doctor? I believe he was a Japanese doctor. I forget his name, forget what he did, or if he was a medical doctor or what he was. But what he did was he took water in 3 glasses, maybe it was 4, but I think it was 3, and he taped on one glass the word hate. And then on the next one it was the word faith. And then the next one was the word belief. And he left them, I think it was overnight or for like 36 hours or 72 hours or something like that. And then what he would do, he would take a drop of that water and put it under a microscope in between the slides. And he looked at it and they showed I'm going to Google it because this is really incredible. Okay, so when I first heard about this study, this was 1993 or 94 in Hawaii during that first 5-week training I took. His name is Dr. Masaru Emoto Hado, and it's called the Water Crystals Documentary. So it's Dr. Dr. Masaru space Emoto, Emoto space Hado space Water Crystals Documentary 2017. So essentially what he was doing was he would put glasses of water and he would tape the word happiness, love, peace, hate, harmony, etc. And they all had different crystallizations after it set for so many hours. Again, I don't remember how many it was, but you can watch this documentary that was done or uploaded in 2017, or it was done in 2017, okay? But I heard about this guy, or if it wasn't the same doctor, it was another, I'm pretty sure it's the same guy. But he had done this, I think his original study was with 3. It was love, hate, and peace, or hate, love, and peace. So it's 3, maybe 4. It might have been belief was the 4th one, but the way it was taught to me, it was 3 or 4, and then they showed us the different images of the crystallization. So this is the crystallization of happiness. And this is courtesy. And this is I can't do it. Now watch this. This is I can do it. And this is friend. Isn't that pretty? It's like a diamond ring that you might want to give to your friend. So this is about love of husband and wife. Isn't that cool, the connection? But isn't it interesting how there's a smaller one inside a larger one? I just think that absolutely represents husband and wife. And this is a heart mark, like the connection. And this is an elephant. It looks like a trunk. So they wrote the word elephant, taped it onto the glass that had water, and this is what they got from it. And this one is dolphins. And this one is when you say, you disgust me. The crystallization is ugly. So beyond a shadow of a doubt, words have emotions. Words are energy. Words create power. So people who talk about health and vitality, they're very healthy people because they're constantly feeding the vibration of health, love, and vitality to themselves. So when people are constantly talking about negative stuff like hate and I'm pissed off and I'm angry and I'm an idiot, I'm telling you right now, you're literally sending the vibrations to yourself, and that is going to be manifest. See, this is why you always speak well to the warrior within, because even the warrior within can feel what you're saying. I had a football coach in high school. He also taught algebra class, pre-algebra, geometry, so he was a math teacher. And he never got a scar. He played football his entire life. He lifted weights. He was in a lot of fights. He was a tough kid, you know. And he said the doctor would always say, man, because he would always go in and get stitches for football injuries or cuts. Or he literally lived in a very bad part of, I think it was East LA. I forget where it was. But wherever it was a gang area in Southern California. And he would always get in fights. And back then they fought with knives. And here's the thing. He never got scars, ever. And he would tell us these stories, and it was hard to believe. He goes, no, I'm telling you, there's one doctor, when I was getting a little bit older, he said, oh, that's going to be a big scar. It's going to heal up like that. And he said, nah, I never get scars. So he gave him like 10 stitches, or maybe it was 15, but a lot of stitches. And sure enough, 6 months later, there wasn't a scar. It's all intention. If I were to stop right now on making any of it, just completely stop. Everything, every single thing that my video is about one word. It's your intention. That's it. Your intention creates. Whether you believe it or not, you are correct. Here's the really interesting thing. It doesn't matter if you believe it or not. All that matters is if you intend it. It really, that whole idea of faith, not really. You know the verse where Jesus says it takes the faith the size of a mustard seed? The mustard seed is the smallest seed that they had back then. How much faith would it take you to lift up a pencil? None. Very little. Less than the size of a mustard seed. If you have that much faith, you can do anything. But Mike, that's not very much faith. I know, and that's what Jesus was trying to tell you. All you have to do is intend it. Imagine it. That's how you do it. So a long time ago, in my mid to probably 28 years old, in my 20s, I had anxiety bad, and I mean, I had it since I was a kid. And this night, for not just the night, but for like a month or two, I was sweating every night. I literally had to lay down 3 towels beneath me because otherwise my sweat would soak through to the mattress. And I had gotten back from this NLP training, and it was this training when it talked about this Dr. Emoto's, let me see, get his name right, Dr. Masaru Emoto. When it was talking about these crystals and how it changed, they took a drop and they put it in between 2 slides and they put it underneath the microscope, and the word love was this beautiful crystallization, the word belief or faith was this beautiful crystallization, and then the word hate was this real ugly crystallization. And they always talked about internal dialogue, and self-talk and all that stuff, and then mantras are like, hey, mantras really work. Well, I was like, see, here's the thing. This was another thing that I didn't believe. Like, oh, come on, you're just going to repeat some words and magic's going to happen? Come on. So I remember crying, thinking, what do I have to lose? I mean, nothing's worked so far. So I thought, well, what are two good words? And I thought, well, love and peace, because that's what I needed. And I literally was like, now it didn't start out nice and neat. It was like, because I was curled up, shaking. My arms were crossed across my chest. My fists were closed, like, love, peace, love, peace, love. I mean, it was really bad. Now I'm just struggling, love, peace. And I just kept doing it over, and I didn't stop. And next thing you know, I'm waking up in the morning, and I slept like a baby. I didn't remember hearing anything. I slept like a baby, and I woke up fully rested, and I thought, oh, that's weird. Oh, okay. I was a young male. I was kind of dumb. I didn't make the connection. I don't know if I just blatantly didn't make the connection, or if it was just so hard for me to believe that out of all the medications I've taken, the therapy, psychology, stuff I've done, that 2 words? Really? I don't know. But I felt good, and I went on my day. Happy, mind you. And so as the day went on, I kind of got a little anxiety, but it was nothing compared to before, so that's nothing. And by the time I got home, I had anxiety, and when I went to bed, I was like, oh, I had the anxiety back. Oh shit! And I just thought, I'm gonna try it again. So I was like, love, peace, and again it started out rough because I had a lot of anxiety. Love, peace, and I did it over and over and over. And I slept like a baby. The very next thing I remember is waking up completely peaceful. So I had probably said those words probably 50, 60 times, at least 40, maybe even 80, but it was just, I drifted off to sleep, didn't even realize it. That became my go-to sleep medication when I couldn't sleep because I had anxiety. And now I have that connected to my bed so much, I just fall asleep now. Another mantra I use when I need money or want to make money or even get something is wealth, success, wealth, success, wealth, success. I'll even go walking and I'll squeeze my right fist, wealth. And if there's people around, I'll say it quietly, wealth, success, wealth. But I say it with intensity, with purpose, okay? And even if 2 people or 2 girls, it's in my head. I'm thinking it's wealth, success, wealth. If I allow myself to say it long enough, my body, something in my body changes, like it just kind of like, literally it's like the energy changed or something, and I just feel more relaxed. I just feel more wealthy. Every time I do that, and if I do it long enough, money comes in the door one way or another. So I'm learning about words and how they have energy and vibration, how it's like a guitar string, and I played guitar for so many years. And I remember certain chords would make me feel really good, and I could literally calm my girlfriend down if I did certain chords, etc., etc. And I'm making the connections to all this and how it affects your emotions, how your emotions affect your body, etc., etc. And then I noticed certain mantras will literally bring money in the door out of nowhere. Sometimes it brings a check, like just magically shows up in your mail saying, oh, we owe you this money. I'm like, what are you talking about? No, you don't. Okay, I'll give you one that I did about 4 months ago. I went to Western Union, and all of a sudden, I got an email from Western Union say, hey, you have $50 and you never sent it, or the person never picked it up. I'm like, what person? What are you talking about? So it was like supposedly 4 months back, say in November. I think it was about November. And I went in and looked at it. They're like, yeah, you sent money to this person. I'm like, I never even heard that name in my life. They're like, are you serious? I'm like, yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. So I called Western Union. They're like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I've never sent money. They're like, well, that money's in your account if you want it. I was like, yeah. So I went back down to Western Union, and I got my 50. It was about 50 some bucks. And that's another thing. I've never sent that much money to someone through Western Union, ever. So then I'm reading that Jesus says, if ye believe, you shall receive whatever you ask for in prayer. And then he says, by ye faith ye are healed. He didn't say, I, magically Jesus healed you. He says, you, because you believed, by your faith you are healed. You healed yourself by your faith, by your intention. So I'm putting all these pieces together. And amalgamation is when you gather all these different thoughts and you bring them like pieces of a puzzle. You bring them together into your own unique thought. That is thinking. The logical brain, that's just memorization. There's no thinking there going on at all. At the very least, you can say the right brain is about original thought. Whereas the left brain is about memorizing someone else's thoughts. Especially young males, they get really like high off of this motive. Like, they will literally verbatim repeat sentences other people say, like, Dr. So-and-so said blah, 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 blah. And they just start ringing off all these different people. Like, yeah, I'm smart, right? And I'm like, no, they're smart. Feelings and emotions create. So Isaiah 45 verse 7, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. See, it's all about your intention. I would have customers come to me, clients come to me and say, I don't know if I believe in this stuff. I say, oh, that doesn't matter. I do. It's my intention. So in Luke 11:52, woe to you experts in the law, because you have taken away the key to knowledge. You yourselves have not entered, and you have hindered those who were entering. So this is about your success door is locked. Almost every single video for the last 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 months, I'm always talking about internal awareness, opening that artery. That is the key. That is the lock. That's what you have to open up. That's why this internal awareness course, these emotionally grounding techniques are really important, because it opens up that lock. That's what this guy's talking about. Now listen really carefully to what Jesus says here. He literally says, woe to you experts in the law, because you have taken away the key to knowledge. He's talking about right brain knowledge, amalgamation, the spiritual ability. And he says, you taken away the key to knowledge, you yourselves have not what? Entered inside your internal awareness. This opens up the artery. Your internal awareness is the key to opening that artery, to open you up to the Garden of Eden. And this is where you manifest. That's why I keep going over internal awareness, emotionally grounding techniques, etc., because it brings you inside and it connects you, it plugs you in. This is what Jesus meant when he said, look within. You have the gift inside you. It's already there. Just use it. You can heal. You can become wealthy. You can create art. You can do anything. See, the reason why our education is about left brain logic is because it closes the door, just like Jesus said. Woe to you experts, for you have taken away the key of knowledge. He's not talking about left brain, he's talking about right brain. Reconnect, begin to manifest, begin to express yourself through your creations. That's why you're here. God bless you guys. I'll see you in the next video. Remember, click subscribe, click the like button, go ahead and make a comment, and if you want, go ahead and make a donation. There's a PayPal link right there in the description box. God bless you guys. See you in the next video. Bye.